Good day, we are Team 4. Today we're going to talk about the virtual San Diego Zoo. And our team members are Samantha Gonzalez, Fernando Barajas, Vanessa Torres, Frida Díaz de León, Paulina Lafuente, and myself, Pedro Cortés. We hope you enjoyed this presentation.
First off, we're going to start with the introduction. So the zoo we chose to present is the San Diego Zoo. Here we're going to be able to show some animals that are part of the San Diego Zoo and their characteristics. As we know, there's a pandemic in the world right now, so even if we wanted to, we weren't going to be able to be there. In this presentation, we will make you learn as if you were there. Mentioning that is actually really important to know even the small but important details of these exotic animals. Just imagine a situation where you are requested to know important things about a certain animal in danger. If we eventually have knowledge of this, we might actually be able to make a difference in this world.
The first animal we're talking about is polar bear. So its scientific name is Usurus maritimus. Its habitat is Antarctica, in the edges of the packed ice. And some characteristics of Antarctica are that it is the highest, driest, windiest, coldest, and icest continent in the world. And 98% of the land is covered with ice. Its climate have an average temperature of minus 57 Celsius to minus 90 Celsius. Here we have a temperature chart that explains more or less how the temperature changes during a year. Then we got the biotic and abiotic factors. The biotics are, as we know, the living things in the ecosystem. Some examples are mooses, liveworts, terrestrial and aquatic algal species, fungi, flowering plants, penguins, squirrel, wolves, fox, moose, etc. Some abiotic factors are the temperature, the wind, rain, snow, sunlight, soil, rocks, and permafrost. Its position in the food chain is the top, which means that they have no predators, they only have prey. The consumer type is that they are tertiary consumers, and they are really important in the food chain because it keeps the balance in this food web.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about elephants, and there's the video, but right now we can't put the video because there are problems with YouTube. So yeah. Okay, so its scientific name is Loxodonta. The habitat where it lives. There are many types of elephants, but today we're going to focus on the African elephants. The elephants range throughout sub-Saharan Africa and the rainforests of Central and West Africa. Elephants can also be known as Sahel in Sahel area of Mali. The areas where these animals live are in rainforests, grasslands, rivers, valleys, swamps, and savannas. Its climate is in the savanna, as I previously said. There is an average of 20 to 50 inches of rain each year, and the temperature varies between 60 and 75 degrees approximately. So yeah, they live in a pretty hot environment. Uh, the biotic and abiotic factors that they face, well, mainly the biotic factors that they face in in the biome are tigers, birds, snakes, and other reptiles. Bears, also orangutans, monkeys, bats, trees, and plants, and many different types of insects. Some abiotic factors can be for Asian elephants can be soil, water, air, and sunlight, or any type of elephant in that sense. Its position in the food chain, it is considered as a primary consumer, so it is pretty important for the entire process to happen. They feed on a variety of vegetation, including grasses, forbs, roots, bulbs, tubers, leaves, flowers, shrubs, and bark. It is its consumer type. It is a primary consumer, so it is pretty important for the food chain. And the importance is that, yeah, as I said again, is that it is a primary producer. No, well, it is a primary consumer, and yeah, it is vital for the process to happen. So it is pretty important.
Now we are going to talk about the panda. His scientific name is Aeropoda melanoleuca. The ecosystem characteristics are wild pandas live only in remote mountainous regions in central China. These high bamboo forests are cool and wet, just as panda likes it. They may climb as high as 13,000 feet to feed on higher slopes in the summer season. And the climate is abundant rainfall, mist, and heavy clouds characterize these forests. The climate is temperature without extreme in the winter or summer. The biotic factors can be fertility because the female panda is only able to mate once a year during a 2-day estrous cycle. The panda role in the food chain is a primary consumer and a secondary consumer. Pandas mostly eat bamboo. Pandas are both primary and secondary consumers because of the things they eat and do for the ecosystem. And they are very important in the food chain because they can be primary or secondary consumers depending on the situation.
Okay, so next is the jaguar. Its scientific name is Panthera onca, and the habitat where it lives is capable of inhabiting different ecosystems, including mangroves, temperate pines, forests, deserts, and even mountain areas, but they prefer lowland forests and subtropical forests. Their climate of the jaguars are dense rainforests of the Central and South America, as well as dry grassland terrains and seasonally flooded wetlands. Although they can live in scrub and deserts, they need fresh water in their habitat. The biotic and anabiotic factors are that some biotic living near a jaguar are deers, crocodiles, peccaries, and armadillos, and some abiotic things around a jaguar is rocks, leaves, dirt, and soil. Their position in the food chain, well, they're carnivorous, but they're on top, so that means that they're predators. And the consumer type is secondary consumer. It's primary consumers, such as sloths. And the importance in the food chain is that they are top predators in the environment, so they play an important role in controlling the population of other species. And this will help to balance the food chain and a healthy environment.
Then we have the penguin. Its scientific name is Spinachidae. Its habitat, which are some island dwellers, and they can be found in warm climates like rocky coastlines, but most penguins reside in around icy Antarctica. The climate where they live is rocky, an average of 23.2 Celsius to 30 Celsius. Antarctica, the average temperature in the inner throughout the year is about minus 57 Celsius, with the minimum temperature being of minus 90 Celsius during the winter season. The biotic and abiotic factors. First, we have the rocky coastline, which is biotic. Barnacles, mussels, oysters, tube worms, limpet, chiton, snails, crab, and starfish, among other animals they live with. Then we have some other biotic, which is Antarctica, and then we have a list of animals that also live next to the penguin, which some are lichens, mosses, earthworms, terrestrial and aquatic algae species, fungi, flowering plants. Then we have two abiotic components, which are the temperature of the water, the amount of sunlight, the amount of salinity, the air, the wave action, and some other are the temperature, the wind, the rain, the snow, the sunlight, the soil, the rocks, and the permafrost. Then we have its position in the food chain, which is part of the marine food chain where they eat fish and squid, but they are eaten by seals or whales also. Their consumer type is secondary consumer, and their importance in the food chain is that they are really important as prey and predators as seals, orcas, and seabirds.
Now we have the anaconda. Its scientific name is Eunectes murinus. Its habitat is that anacondas live in South America at the east of Andes. The vast majority of them are in the following countries: Ecuador, Bolivia, Peru, Venezuela, and Colombia. Their climate is that anacondas live in swamps, marshes, and slow-moving streams. They mainly in the tropical rainforests of the Amazon and Orinoco basins. They are cumbersome on land, but stealthy and sleek in the water. Now we have the biotic and abiotic factors. Some biotic factors of the anaconda are fish, tapirs, wild pigs, and caiman. All these are only for food. Some abiotic factors of the anaconda are water, light, logs, rocks, and mud. All of these are important for the anaconda because it usually lives in water. So almost every creature needs light and the rest it's just for shelter. Its position in the food chain are that they are apex predators. Its consumer type, they are at the top of the food chain, with being both a tertiary and a secondary consumer. Green anacondas will eat anything that they can overpower. So this includes mammals, fish, birds, and some other reptiles. Its importance in the food chain is that since they're at the top of the food chain, adult anacondas have no natural predators. The biggest threat to their survival is human fear. Many anacondas are killed by people worried that the enormous snake will attack.
Okay, so as a conclusion, out of this experiment, out of this video or experience, we were not able to go to the zoo as it was planned, but we also learned a lot of things, and it was pretty impressive to see how much impact just one species does to an entire food chain. How if something is missing on that chain, it completely collapses and stops working as it is on a daily basis. And yeah, it was pretty shocking to see such a complex process along this presentation, like it is the food chain. So we hope these are the references, and we hope you liked our presentation. These are the credits, and thank you for watching.